Hi, I'm Clint Peck with Beef Magazine. We're here at the trade show area at CattleCon 2026 in Nashville, Tennessee. We've got guests with us today, Trey Freeman and Abby Greiman from Ever.Ag, your livestock market analysts for Ever.Ag, and your frequent contributors to Beef Magazine and Feedstuffs. Really appreciate you being here. We're going to talk a little bit about the markets near term and kind of a little prediction where we're going in the future. Who wants to start out talking about near term markets?
Yeah, I can start on the cash side of things.
Okay.
We've seen really strong markets here over the past few weeks, trading up, in that 238 to 241 range here last week in both the north and the south. So we're nearing those, 245 highs that we saw last August. Predictions early this week were for a stronger cash market. Certainly could still be yet. All the leverage continues to seem to be on the cattle feeder side of things. Trey will talk about futures here in a bit, but seeing some action this morning that could certainly benefit the packers and provide them a little bit of leniency on keeping that cash price steady this week. One other thing I will note is forward contracts that packers have in February for this year are at 137% of where they were last year. So in terms of the open cash market and the traction that we might get there, might be a little bit less, but certainly still lots of opportunity for cattle feeders there.
All right, Trey, would you ever believe that we'd be in this kind of a market like you're looking back 3 or 4 or 5 years ago?
I don't think this was on anybody's minds or predictions. I think it's outdone everybody's expectations, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
It has certainly come with some emotion, but there's been a lot of opportunity, of course. But just looking at the markets this morning, they opened about an hour ago. We actually had a flash crash here in feeders. We're down, limit down in the first couple minutes. Fats as well. We didn't quite hit limit down. We did gap lower on the charts. What's driving this? I'm looking at the stock market right now. We're looking at the mini Dow futures. It's down about 600 points. The NASDAQ is down sharply. I would think that that poor jobs report, slightly poor, was part of the catalyst to this today. There's also talk of a strike with JBS that came out yesterday. So a couple negative pieces of news coming out here recently, just in the last 24 hours. So looking a little bleak today. Like Abby said, that may bring cash expectations, or what was expected earlier this morning or earlier this week, be a little lower maybe than what we thought. But we'll see how the day plays out. It's the cattle market. So at some point, volatility is going to be expected. And it's been a while since we've had a day like this.
So, Abby, in the cattle markets last year or so, we've been using the word fundamental. It's like a buzzword out in the industry, the fundamentals of the industry and where we're at with supply and demand of cattle and beef. How do you see that playing out over the next several months or into 2027?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing about this market is that fundamentals have continued to stay really strong, and I don't see that changing. Certainly we'll go through seasonal changes. We talk about the cutout and that side of the fundamental with the beef. Typically through February, we do see a little bit of a pullback after we see that restocking in January from, the holidays and all that kind of stuff. But once we get into grilling season and into the spring and summer, we haven't seen anything that's showing beef demand is slowing down there yet. So expect that to kind of continue to ramp back up there and support from that side. And then cash, like we talked about, has been extremely strong. That leverage has continued to stay with the cattle feeder. I wouldn't expect that to change. Placements, as we look at cattle on feed reports and the cattle inventory report and all that kind of stuff, there's not more cattle out there right now, right? We're not going to change that trend of where we've been placing cattle, what the numbers of on feed that we've had. I don't expect that to change here in the near term. Obviously, the one thing that could change that being the reopening of the Mexican border. Right. But again, with screwworm continuing to move north and closer to that border, pending, some very large change or news there, I would not expect that to open here in the near term as well. So continue to stay strong fundamentally here through this year, which will continue to support the futures.
All right, Trey, anything else, anything you're working on that you'd like to tell us about?
Futures unfortunately do dictate some of the cash market here in cattle, and that's nothing new. Price risk management, it's very important right now. Like Abby said, things are looking strong, fundamentals, and we're as that cow inventory released last week showed that the herd rebuild looks like it's going to be very slow. but not to say that there's going to be some volatility come with futures. So price risk management, take control of it, whether it's with us or someone, find somebody that you trust, and enjoy these high prices with some sort of actionable plan in place.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Trey Freeman, Abby Greiman with Ever.Ag. Really appreciate what you do and how you contribute to Beef Magazine and help our readers out as we go through the year. So glad to have you on the team with us at Beef and Feedstuffs.
Thank you for having us.
All right. For Beef Magazine, I'm Clint Peck. We're from CattleCon 2026 in Nashville, Tennessee.